As the shadow of World War II spread across Europe, the fall of France in June 1940 marked a dramatic shift in the strategic landscape. France's surrender left Great Britain as Nazi Germany's next target, setting the stage for one of the most pivotal conflicts of the Second World War, the Battle of Britain. With the English Channel as its only geographical barrier against the German war machine, Britain's situation was perilous but not devoid of hope. Germany's plan, codenamed Operation Sea Lion, hinged on gaining air superiority over the British Isles. The Luftwaffe, led by Reichsmarschall Hermann Göring, was tasked with destroying the Royal Air Force RAF, thus clearing the way for a German amphibious and airborne invasion. On the British side, Prime Minister Winston Churchill rallied the nation with speeches that stirred a spirit of resilience, emphasizing the island nation's resolve to resist the looming Nazi threat. The RAF, though outnumbered, was not unprepared. Britain's air defences were among the most advanced in the world, featuring a network of radar stations that provided early warning of incoming attacks, a technological edge that would prove crucial. The RAF's fighter command, under the command of Air Chief Marshal Sir Hugh Dowding, had a diverse cadre of pilots including many from Commonwealth nations and occupied European countries. These pilots, flying aircraft like the Hawker Hurricane and the Supermarine Spitfire, were about to face their greatest test. The assault begins. The Luftwaffe launched its first major offensive against Britain in July 1940, targeting shipping convoys and ports in an attempt to draw out the RAF into open battle. This phase of the campaign, known as the Kanalkampf or Channel Battles, was a prelude to the more intensive assaults that would soon follow. By August, the focus shifted towards the destruction of the RAF itself, with airfields and radar stations coming under heavy attack in what would become known as Adlerangriff, or Eagle Attack. Day after day, waves of German bombers, escorted by fighters, ventured across the Channel to unleash their payloads on strategic targets. The RAF, leveraging the advantages provided by radar, mounted vigorous defences. In the skies over southern England, epic dogfights unfolded with both sides suffering losses. The intensity of the conflict escalated rapidly, testing the endurance and skill of RAF pilots who faced multiple sorties each day. Despite the initial shock of the sustained assault, the RAF's strategic response was effective. Utilizing the flexibility and speed of fighter groups, they managed to inflict significant losses on the Luftwaffe. Meanwhile, the British populace, subjected to the horrors of war, rallied behind their defenders. The Blitz, Germany's strategic shift to bombing London and other cities by night, aimed to break British morale, but instead galvanized British resolve further. Britain's defiant stand. The climax of the Battle of Britain came with what is known as the hardest day on August 18, 1940, when both sides suffered heavy losses in a series of large-scale air battles. Following this, a critical turning point occurred in early September as the Luftwaffe, frustrated by its inability to neutralize the RAF, began targeting London and other major cities in massive night raids. This shift was a double-edged sword. It brought the war to millions more civilians, but relieved pressure on RAF airfields that were on the brink of collapse. Churchill's stirring oratory during this period, including the speech in which he declared, "Never in the field of human conflict was so much owed by so many to so few," encapsulated the national sentiment. The RAF's staunch defense during these raids, now celebrated as Battle of Britain Day on September 15th, marked the zenith of British resistance, fundamentally shifting the strategic dynamic in favor of the defenders. The Luftwaffe's miscalculation in targeting urban centers allowed the RAF to recuperate and reorganize. British fighters, now more experienced and better coordinated, exploited their tactical flexibility to engage the enemy on more favorable terms. The Luftwaffe's inability to achieve its objectives, combined with rising aircraft losses and waning pilot morale, led to a gradual, grudging acknowledgement among the German High Command that Operation Sea Lion could not be successfully executed. Luftwaffe exhausted. As autumn set in, the intensity of the Luftwaffe's operations began to wane. The sustained air campaign had drained German resources and pilot reserves significantly. The RAF, once teetering on the brink of defeat, began to feel a cautious optimism as their counterattacks became more effective. The German Air Force, facing unexpected resilience, encountered logistical nightmares and a diminishing rate of return on their sortied efforts. The constant pressure to maintain air superiority over Britain was unsustainable. The daily sorties over Britain took a heavy toll on German pilots, who faced not only the physical dangers of combat, but also the psychological strain of continuous engagement. The attrition rate among the Luftwaffe crews escalated, reducing the effectiveness of their fighting force. Meanwhile, British war production was ramping up, allowing for quicker repairs and replacements of damaged aircraft. The RAF was slowly but steadily turning the tide, utilizing superior tactics and the strategic advantage provided by their ground-based radar systems. In October 1940, recognizing the impracticality of achieving air superiority, Hitler postponed Operation Sea Lion indefinitely. This decision marked a tacit admission of defeat in the Battle of Britain, shifting German military focus to the east and leaving Britain as a significant base of operations for Allied efforts for the remainder of the war. This strategic shift would have profound implications for the overall conduct of World War II. A temporary victory. The resolution of the Battle of Britain came with the realization that Britain would not be invaded. The battle had proven to be a major psychological and military victory for the Allies. It was the first major defeat of Hitler's military forces, and more importantly, it preserved Britain as a crucial launching pad for the eventual Allied invasion of mainland Europe. The battle also had significant ramifications for the United States' stance on the war, helping to sway American public opinion towards supporting the Allies. The technological advancements made during the Battle of Britain, particularly in radar and aircraft design, set the stage for modern aerial warfare. The experience gained by RAF pilots and the lessons learned in command and control would be invaluable in subsequent conflicts. Additionally, the battle highlighted the importance of industrial capacity in wartime, with British factories working around the clock to ensure that the RAF was adequately equipped. In a broader sense, the Battle of Britain underscored the resilience of democratic societies in the face of totalitarian aggression. It was a testament to the courage of the RAF pilots, the few, and the British people whose steadfastness in the face of adversity ensured the survival of freedom in Europe. As Churchill aptly summed up, the gratitude owed to the pilots of the RAF was immense, and their victory would be remembered as one of the turning points of the Second World War. This narrative of the Battle of Britain not only details a crucial period of World War II, but also reflects on the enduring lessons of resilience, innovation, and unity in the face of overwhelming odds. It serves as a reminder of the strategic and moral imperatives that drove the Allies to victory, and the price of freedom that was so heroically defended in the skies over Britain.